be assisting you guys today. So for today, we will be covering what is vectors. So already all of this was covered, most of it is covered yesterday, but we will revise and we will solve two problems. If time permits, we will take one more interesting question, okay? So C++ will have different built-in functions with respect to the vectors, right? So we will be discussing about them also, and then we'll be solving two problems, and finally you guys will have a quiz. So what are vectors? Vectors in C++ are like flexible arrays. So the main difference between vectors and arrays are that vectors can be they can automatically grow or shrink depending on how many elements we add or we remove. They are dynamic in nature, they're easy to use, they are safe, and they're considered to be faster also. So for your first doubt, how do we initialize vectors? So in general, how do we initialize vectors? There are different ways. Okay, I have mentioned only 5 ways over here, but in general, we will have a lot of ways. I've specified the 5 mostly used ones. So whatever we are discussing will be respect to C++. So the first way is to make an empty vector, to initialize with an empty vector. How do you do that? We specify the word vector. So we say vector, and we specify the data type. It could be integer, it could be character, it could be string, or it could be anything. So whatever data type that you want to mention, you will mention it in this space over here. After that, you mention the name of your vector. For example, the vector that I have taken is v. The name of the vector I have taken is v. It could even be array. It is my name. Whatever name I have given, it could be whatever I want. So this is the first way. Second way is a vector with a fixed size. So if you want to fix the size of a vector, then you have in brackets, you have to mention 5, or in brackets, you have to mention whatever you want. For example, your variable n is equal to, you already have initialized int n is equal to 7. So what do? You initialize vector int, and then you say v of 7 or v of n. Directly you can give the variable name. So this is the second method where we can initialize vector with a fixed size. After this, third way, we initialize size as well as we give them the initial value. See, in some cases, maybe you want to take sum of two matrices, and in that case, in the third matrix, you want all the initial values to be 0. So manually doing each and everything will be tougher, right? So instead, what we will do is, we will mention the same way, vector, the data type, that is int, v of 5, that is, this is the size. The first parameter will be the size, and the next one will be the initial value that we want to say. So this will create a vector like this: 5, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. Getting it right? Okay. So the fourth way, you can directly initialize the vector. So you give the vector elements in a curly brackets. So this vector, it's the same thing again. Vector, data type, vector name is equal to. And then you put curly braces and you mention all the elements that you want to mention. This is the fourth way of initializing vectors. And this is usually called initializing vectors using a list. And then the fifth way is you have to reinitialize. That means first the vector has to be created. Only if the vector is created and you want to change few elements of the vector, or you want to change the vector completely, in that cases we will use this assign operator. Getting it right? Okay. So now that we have looked at what are vectors, how do we initialize vectors, we can do one more. We will do some built-in functions of vectors. So now speaking about built-in functions, how many of you are aware of built-in functions in vectors? You can raise your hand.
Built-in functions.
Yes. What are built-in functions?
In C++, you can find length of a string. Then setw. Setw is a set width, and uh, ENDL.
Yes,
No,
Vikas. Good, Vikas. So you have mentioned three of them, right? So we will be talking at few more. Okay.
can you
So the
show please
first
show
one,
previous slide?
previous slide. Okay.
1 minute, 1 minute.
Okay. You guys will be getting the slides. Okay. By tomorrow
Uh,
morning, you will get all the material with extra
yeah,
questions for you guys to
yeah,
practice.
yeah. Please continue.
Okay, fine. Okay. So let's discuss about some built-in functions, right? Now, the first function is pushback of x. So, for example, if I have a vector already with these elements 1, 2, and 7. Now, if I say pushback of x, that is, if this is the vector, that is v is equal to 1, 2, and 7. When I do v dot pushback of x, then what is going to happen is push back. In the sense, it's going to push to the back side. Your final vector will become 1, 2, 7, 10. Now remember, whenever you're coding in C++, you have to make sure that all of these built-in functions, at least most of them, it should be very handy to you guys. Okay, so that will make it easier for you also to code. Fine. So this the first one, v is equal to 1, 2, 7, and when you do pushback of 10, 10 also will be inserted at the end position. Understood pushback, right? So next we will go to pop back. What is pop back? Whatever is in the last element will be given out. So for example, if I say x is equal to integer of x, I've already declared x. So integer of x is equal to v dot pop back, then what is going to happen is the last element x will be initialized to the last element, so x will have the value 10, x will get the value 10. After this, what is size? So size, it returns the number of elements in that array. Oh, here again, if I take the same example, v is equal to 1, 2, and 7, what will be the size? Size will be 1, 2, and 3. So it returns the number of elements in that array, whatever array that you give. And empty. So what does this empty do? If you say v dot empty, this will give you a boolean value as an output. So it will give true if you don't have anything in that vector, and if it will give you false if there is something in that vector, if there are values existing in that vector. So now you might think, in what cases is this v dot empty useful, right? So in cases where you want to check if the vector is completely null, where there is no element in the vector. So instead of checking if something exists, directly through manually, you can check using this built-in function, that is v dot empty. And if you want to remove all the elements from the vector, then you use something called as v dot clear. So this will remove all the elements of your vector. Your final vector will become like this. It will not have any elements in it. After this, v dot begin, and usually these two we use it for transversing through the loop, transversing through the vector. How do you do that? We start at v dot begin. That means if v is equal to, we'll take the same example, v is equal to 1, 2, 3, 7. If this is your vector, now v dot begin, what will v dot begin give you? It will give you this array, this element. So v dot begin will point to 1. One common misconception here is v dot end will point over here, but remember guys, v dot end will point over here. Getting it right? So this is a very common misconception, so you have to keep this in mind. V dot end will always point to to the space, to the memory space after the last element. It does not point to the last element, it will point to the space after the last element. This thing is very important. So it's a common misconception, right? So just keep that in your mind. And to swap two vectors, for example, if vector v1 is pointing to this memory location and vector v2 is pointing to this location, so you want to swap these. So we have written programs where we'll take a temp variable and then we will exchange the variable names, and finally we'll get the output, right? But in C++ we have a built-in function. So what is that function? It is v1, here we can directly write swap function, that is v1 dot swap of v2. What is going to happen here is this, then this vector, this link will break, this also will break, this will be pointing to this one, and this will be pointing to the other vector. You understood so many built-in functions, right? Okay, so let's go for the next one. After this, the next one that we have is at of I. At of I in the sense it will access the element that is at the index I. Getting it right? So for example, if I have v is equal to 1 2 sorry 1 3 7 9, what are the indexing? This is index 0, this is index 1, this is index 2, and this is index 3, right? It's always zero based indexing, right? So if I want to say at of I, so for example, if I say v dot at, let's take the same example, at 2, what is the output that I'll get? It is 7. Understood till here, right? After this, we have this operator. What does this do is, it's the same thing as this one. The only difference is, instead of writing v dot add of 2, we can directly access the element saying v square brackets 2. It will give you the same answer as this thing. So v at this will give you the output as 7. Understood till here, right? Next thing, we have insert. Similarly, we have insert. So what is going over here? Insert x at position. For example, we'll take the same example, 1 3 7 9, and I say insert x insert 5. Let us take the same example. So we have to insert the element 5, and at what position? V dot beginning plus 1. What is v dot beginning? This always points to 0. 0 plus 1 is 1, so it has to come here. So my final vector will look like 1 5 3 7 9. So you understood, right? Your final vector, your final element has come over here to the first place, first indexed place. And then similarly, if I give erase position, if I say erase of 5, v dot erase of 5, what erase of 1, sorry, because you have to give the index number, right? If I say v of index of 1, then your element will be 1 3 7 and 9. Your 5 will be erased because that is the first indexed. Okay. After that, we have again front and back. This will return the first element, and v dot back will return the last element. Remember again, this end is different from back. Got it, right? Okay. After this, we have capacity. Yesterday this was mentioned in the class. So can someone tell me what is the difference between capacity and size? You can raise your hand. Anyone? Okay, I'll tell you. This is something that you have to again keep it in mind, okay? Now, capacity is what is the physical memory it is taking in your memory. How much is it physically taking in your memory? That will be considered as capacity. But what is size? Over here on your screen, for example, array, it is 1, yeah, we have 1 3 and 7 again. The size of this will be only 3, but capacity might be more than 3 because it depends on how much it is physically taking on your memory. So capacity will tell you about how much physically it is taking, but size will tell you about the number of elements in that array. That is the difference between capacity and size. Again, this is a very common misconception, so this is also something that you have to keep in mind. Okay. So resize of n, you can change the size of your vector. For example, you have initialized your array to size 3. So you'll get only 3 blocks, right? But for example, but later on, I wanted to increase this. So how do I do it? We can say v dot resize of 5. So it will come to 5 elements, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. There will be 5 elements totally when you use this resize operator. And okay, these are the ones that these are the last ones that I'll be covering, and then we'll move on to the 2 questions that we'll be solving today. Okay, so we will now okay, standard fill begin comma end comma x. So for example, we have a vector. Vector is equal to, again we'll take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now instead of begin, so if I say std fill, begin I can say 0 and end I can say at position 3. I want to fill it with value -1. So what exactly is going to happen? Okay, so this is 0 index, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So your v will finally become, after applying this function, the built-in function, your v will finally become -1, -1, -1, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, and then it's going to retain the normal values, 5, 6. So this is going to be filled with a range of values. What is that range of value? The value will be x. What is x? The number that you specify. Understood, right? So that is standard fill begin comma end comma x. After that, you have reverse begin comma end. What does this do exactly? Now, if I say if I call this function reverse of v dot begin comma v dot end. I'll again take the same example. V is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This will simply reverse the array. So it will become 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So in case you have your array in your ascending order and you want to make it descending, in that case you'll use reverse. Or if it's in descending order and you want to make it ascending order, then you will use reverse again. So this is how you use this reverse built-in function. After this, we have min of a comma b. For example, if I give min of 3 comma 7, this will return me 3. It will just return the minimum of the two values. Similarly, max of a comma b. If I have 3 comma 7 here again, and if I ask for the max of 3 comma 7, it is going to return me 7. So these are small things that we all know by now. After this, finally, we have last 2 more built-in functions. There are more built-in functions other than this also, but then if you have the ones that I have mentioned in these slides at the tip of your fingers, your coding will become easier. So it's better you know these functions very well. So next one is min element and max element. For example, now min of a comma b, max of a comma b, it will take only 2 numbers as input. Now, what if I have a very big array and I want to ask what is the minimum element out of all of them or maximum out of all of them? So what will it do? In that case, we have something called as min element of, again, v dot begin comma v dot end. You can mention anything. V dot begin to v dot begin plus 6 or v dot begin to v dot begin of 3 plus 3. So what will it do? Only the first 3 elements or only the first 4 elements. How much ever you have mentioned, out of those only it's going to find out your minimum element. So this is your function, right? So if I have again a vector, for example, I have 1, 3, 7, 9, 10. Okay, let me take 3 more. If I have 4, 2, 0. Okay, when I say min element, my pointer will be pointing over here. So this function will return a pointer, right? So this function will return me a pointer. And where will the pointer be pointing? Pointer will be pointing to the minimum element. Now, to retrieve the value from that pointer, what do you have to do? You have to put a star. You have to put a small star over there. Fine. So this is one thing which is again little tricky. You have to remember this. So these two, that is the only thing that you have to remember. You have to put a star. That means you are retrieving the value at that position. And what is this function giving you as output, it is only giving you the pointer. It is only pointing to that location where there is minimum number. Similarly, maximum also, it will just point to that. So it will point to this location. This location will be 0f 0f 3429. So if you directly print out this one max element, you will get some output like this. But if you say star of that, that means tell me mm, the data or whatever, tell me what is present at that memory location, then you have to use the star. So only in these two functions you have to remember that in min element and max element, this inbuilt function you will be using a star. Understood, right? So with this we have completed the built-in functions. Any doubts still here? Any doubts?
Can we apply this to multi-dimensional array?
Yes, we can apply this to multi-dimensional array. The thing is, multi-dimensional array, we will take it tomorrow. Understood, right? So we'll go more deeper into that tomorrow.
So in programming, when you are using min and max, you should use star, right?
Yes, if you want to,
Or
you
it
guys
will.
know pointers, right? Also
Yes.
remember one
Yes.
thing: whenever you are dealing with programming languages like C, C++, a pointer plays a very important role. So you should understand how pointers work very well. Okay, so that one thing you have to keep in mind, and that's true.
Okay.
Max element and min element, these two will return the pointer as an output. So what you have to do, you have to put a star over there so that you want the data at that location. Got it, Vikas?
Understood. Understood.
Okay, good. Any other doubts? Anyone? Okay, Samarth, I guess.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes,
Hello.
Samarth.
Ma'am, can you tell the time complexity of each functions?
Time complexity will be discussed in detail later. Okay, I will send because if I discuss in detail right now, it will take a lot of time. Tomorrow, while I'm sending you the notes, I will add that also into this thing. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So shall I continue? No more hands are raised. Okay. So now we will be moving on to the questions. Okay, we'll do two questions, and if time permits, I'll show you one more question. Okay, so the first question that we have taken is minimum operation divisibility by 3. So in this question, so I'll give you a minute time. Just go through what I've written over here. Only from here till here. Okay. So over here, you are given an integer of array that's nums. So the nums is the name of your array. In one operation, you can add or subtract. That means there are two operations that you can perform. You can either add or you can subtract one from any element. So the only operations that you can perform are +1 or -1. And your goal is to find the minimum number of operations required to make all elements in the array divisible by 3. Okay, so for example, I will have a number 7. If I have to either add 1 or subtract 1, I can do any number of these operations, but I have to make sure that the final end product, whatever I get, is divisible by 3. So in this case, I'll try adding 1. So 7 plus 1, what is it? It is 8. Is it divisible by 3? No. I'll add one more, is equal to 9. Is it divisible by 3? Is it divisible by 3? Yes, it is divisible by 3. That means how many operations did I do? 1, 2. So number of operations is equal to 2. But there is one more way I can do. If I do 7 minus 1, that is equal to 6. So 6% 3. That means I'm finding is it divisible or not. If this is equal to 0, can I say that this is also this is equal to 0? That means it is divisible by 3, right? So here, how many operations did I perform? I have performed only one operation. So what do you think is better? What do you think is a better solution? Obviously, this is the better solution because in our question, they have asked your goal is to find the minimum number of operations. So the minimum number of operations is 1. How do I know this? Let me take few examples. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll go to here. Shall I add 1 or subtract 1 for this? How do you, okay, if I add 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. So 2 is not getting me anywhere. That means I have to add 1 more. So number of operations has become 2 is equal to 3. So if I get 3, that means if I'm getting 3, that means it is divisible by 3. So number of operations performed is 2. Let me try the other way. 1 minus 1 is equal to 0. Is it divisible by 3? Yes. So minimum number, what did I do over here? I have subtracted 1 over here. Next, go to the next one. Second. Now I'll add 1. 2 plus 1 is equal to 3. Is 3 divisible by 3? Yes, it is divisible by 3. That means minimum number of operations performed till now is 1. Can I subtract? Do the other way. 2 minus 1 is equal to 1. Again, obviously 1 is not divisible by 3. Let me do it again. 1 minus 1 is equal to 0. So is 1 divisible? Yes. But number of operations performed is 2. So that is why plus 1 is better, right? So here I'm doing plus 1. 3. Number of operations needed is 0 because it's already, whatever is there, it is already divisible by 0, right? Similarly, try for 4, 5 and 6. You will end up getting 4 minus 1, plus 1 and 0. So do you see any pattern here? Minus 1, plus 1, 0. Minus 1, plus 1, 0. So this is how you have to think about question. So every question you will have and they will give you an input, sample input and sample output, right? So you have to try finding out the pattern, what it is asking for. In this case, we found out the pattern over here. So it is minus 1, plus 1, 0. Minus 1, plus 1, 0. But how do I know that every time I get 2, every time I get a 5, every time next, what do you think next in the pattern is? 5, 6, 7, 8. So this will have minus 1, this will have plus 1, 9. This will have 0. So what is the similarity between 2, 5 and 8? Can I say one thing? Whenever I divide 2 divided by 3, 2 divided by, yes. So it's 0 and my 0. So my remainder is 2. So whenever the output is plus 1, that means if that number is divided by 3, the remainder is 2. I can say that, right? So in short, I'm saying n divided by 3. If that number is equal to 2, then I would say that we have to do plus 1 operation for that. Only there's only one operation, and that is plus 1. Similarly, if I do n percentage 3 is equal to 1. In this case, in case of 4, in case of 7, what is happening? I have to do a subtraction. If n percentage 3 is equal to 0, then what do I have to do? I don't have to do anything. So number of operations is 0. So that means what is the operation I'm performing here? Plus 1. What is the operation I'm performing here? Minus 1. So in general, can I say if n percentage 3 is equal to 2, then I'm doing one operation. If n percentage 3 is equal to 1, then I'm doing one operation. If n percentage 3 is equal to 0, then I'm not doing any operation. Again, this I will modify it to one more thing. N percentage 3, if it is not equal to if it is not equal to 0, then I have to do a +1 operation. So number of operation is equal to +1. Can I do that? So that is what exactly we'll be doing in the question. So let's go to this lead code problem. Nitish, could you check what is happening?
Yeah, one sec.
Okay, I guess it's a lead code server issue.
Yes, I am also getting the same error.
Okay, so it's fine. We will. Yes. So I'll write the solution over here. Okay. You guys try it on later after once maybe the servers are back. You guys can try it out. Okay. So let's write the function. And obviously, okay. What is the function name? Minimum operations. And what is the input that it is giving? It's giving a vector of nums. Right? So now this is what is given in my lead code also. From here, I have to code my solution. Always remember one thing, you should not, it is a good practice if you directly don't start with your initializing, because you don't know what exactly you're going to use. If this is a new problem to you, if this is something that you have not seen before, then obviously you don't know how to start, right? So first, try doing what exactly you already know. So for example, we understood one thing. We have to iterate through each of the elements to check whether if it is divisible by 3. If it is not divisible by 3, then we'll be adding 1. If it is divisible by 3, then we will not be adding 1. So can I say I need to have one integer min operations, min op. So I will initialize this to 0. So this is going to contain my answer. What is the minimum number of operations? So this will contain my answer, the min op. After this, for I is equal to 0, I'm going through the loop, or else we have already learned one thing, right? In our okay, I is equal to 0, I less than n. What is n over here? Again, I have to initialize that. For int I, we have to initialize I also. And can I initialize n also? N is equal to nums dot size. So n has the size of the array. For I is equal to 0, for I less than n, it's going to iterate till nth number, nth index, I plus plus. And you're in the for loop. What do you write in the for loop? We knew one thing. If it is not divisible by 3, then we have to perform one operation. If it is divisible by 3, then we don't have to perform anything. Same thing I'm writing here. If nums of I percentage 3 is not equal to 0, this thing says it is not divisible by, this thing says it's not divisible by 3. If it is not divisible by 3, then min op is equal to min op plus 1. Understood? So you can close this if. And if it is divisible by 3, it's not needed. We don't have to do anything. And then finally, we will return min op. Understood? So this is our function. So this is how we will write it in lead code, and this will run also. Anyone has any doubts in this? Okay. Vikas.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
This one,
Hmm.
in that code, right? What you written, that nums dot size is there, no?
Huh?
Uh, and in the for loop, no, if nums of I you have written, right?
Hmm.
Instead, like in before for loop, right? You can write directly, right? Int nums of I
In the sense,
means like declaring array itself starting.
declaring array itself in the starting.
Yeah.
No, see, the thing is, nums is something that is given by them, right? This is the code that I am writing. This is this nums is given by the whoever has given me this. It is directly from the lead code only that I'm getting this nums. I'm not declaring nums at all. So they will give me an array. Maybe like here, see 1, 2, 3, 4. They have given me this input array.
Hmm.
So that input array will have 1, 2, 3, 4. What I as a user have to do is, for I is equal to 0, I less than n. So first I have to go to this. Is it divisible by 3? No, it is not divisible. That means min of plus 1. Next
Hmm.
element. This for loop is for that reason.
One more thing. In that nums dot size, right?
Hmm.
And in the when you come inside the loop, right? Nums
Hmm.
of I, that I variable is only size, right?
No, no, no. I variable is not size. I is something that is iterating. For I is equal to 0, I less than n instance. For I is equal to 0, first it will start with 0. It will be nums of 0. What is this is 0th index 1, 2, 3. What is at the 0th index? 1. So in this place, 1 will be given. So 1 percentage 3. Is it not? It's not equal to 0. So min of is equal to min of plus 1. So your min of will be, it will have the value 1. Next
Okay.
one. See, now this is what, this is increasing. So I plus plus. So I was 0 in the previous loop. Now it's going to become I plus plus. That is, I will become 1. Now in place of I, it will become 1, right? What is
Yes.
nums of 1? It is 2. It will check if 2 is divisible by 3. You understanding, right?
Understanding. One more thing. In that nums of size, right? It will take just a number of elements, right?
Yes. So n will contain the value. For example, if you're taking this input array, n will contain the value 4.
Ah. Okay. Okay.
Understood, right?
Understood.
Okay. Would anyone like to tell me what would be the time complexity for this? They can raise the hand. Okay, I'll go ahead with it. Now that we are using only one for loop, the time complexity will be O of n. Fine, right? Okay. I hope, yeah. Also, so what are we returning? We are returning an integer, right? So the return type of this function will be an integer. So in general, if someone asks you to write a function, this is the method you write a function. First, you will give a name for that. You will you will understand whatever is, the input that they are giving. Then we will write the dry code. How does it work? So we have started with this for loop, and then we understood we are using I variable, so we have initialized integer of I, and then we understood that we want the total number also. So I will then write n is equal to nums dot size, and then we want some counter variable, right? So something that keeps counting number of operations. So I will initialize number of operations also. And finally, what are you doing? You're returning that number of operations. What is that number of operations that you're returning? It is an integer. So integer will be the return type of your function. So this is a very good practice if you write your function in this method. Okay, quickly let's go for the second problem. Okay, yeah. Real world analogy. So where do you use this concept? So in case your boss will give you a pile of coins. For example, he'll give you okay, let it be 3 in the first stack, 5 in the second stack, 4 in this third stack, and he will say, do only minimum number of moves. That means you can either remove a coin or add a coin, but you have to make every pile divisible by 3. In that case, we will use this kind of method. This is one real world analogy. After this, Second one, again for this also I'll give you 30 seconds time. Just read the question as soon as possible. Your question is here. Okay, so in this one, you are given an integer array nums of length n. Again, your array the name of your array is nums, and it is of length n. So your task is to create and return a new array answer. So that means the second array, whatever you're returning, has to have the name called name answer, which has a length of 2n. So if your first initial array is n, your answer should have 2n. That is the twice the original array. The first n elements of the answer are a direct copy of nums. Fine. And the next elements are also a direct copy of nums. For example, your input array, what does it have? 1, 2, 1. So how many elements are there in this? There are 3 elements. Your answer array should contain 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 elements. What are those 6 elements? 1, 2, 1. Again, this 1, 2, 1 has to repeat 1, 2, 1. So this is your question. Very simple, right? So we will look at how to do this. The question is very simple. It is only thing is you have to just double the array. But how do you do that? Again, the same thing, same method of writing. How do you start? First, let's say the name of the function. I'll keep it as function only. And what are we getting as input? It's given over here, right? So the input is you'll get nums. So that's what I'll take over here. Vector int nums. This is your input. So also, what do you have to output according to the question? You have to return something called as answer. What is answer? It is also a vector, right? Okay, just let's do this later. 1 second. Okay, what do you have to do? You have to also return an answer. What is answer? It is a vector because we have to initialize this. Nobody has given us anything about this, right? Vector int, and this is something that I've taught you in the first slide. It is the same thing, vector int and the vector's name answer. Now I'll specify the size 2 into n. Okay, now that I'm using n over here, I should have n already, right? What should I do? Int n is equal to nums dot size. Okay, I hope till here everything is clear. Got it, right? Okay. Also, one more thing I can do. Oh, here only I can use something called as copy. So instead of declaring this array over here like into 2n, because we understood that arrays are free in vectors are free in size. It can grow how much ever. If we keep giving inputs, it will keep taking it, right? So let's leave it like that. Let's leave it like that only. You have something called as copy. If you just do this, array answer is equal to nums. According to the question, the first n elements are a direct copy. We have to do a direct copy. Answer is equal to nums. So what exactly is happening here is your answer will point to 1, 2, 3. Nums is already pointing to 1, 2, 3. So over here, based on this line, what it is doing is it is also giving this answer the same reference. After this, we have to again use the same for loop for I. So I'm using an integer, right? So I can also write int I. I is equal to 0, I less than n, I plus plus. Here I will use the function that I've already taught. Answer dot push back nums of I. and then you close the bracket. What is happening? Each time it's just pushing the element. So your answer, okay, fine. So this is your total function. Your function is returning answer, right? You have to return answer. Your function is returning answer. Can I say this? Done. So this is how you have to write your function. Let's do a dry run. Quickly, let's go through a dry run. Yes. So vector answer is equal to nums, right? The moment when I say answer is equal to nums, it is going to take 1, 2, 3. Let us take nums is already 1, 2, 3. So when I say vector answer is equal to nums, it's going to say answer is equal to 1, 2, 3. Again, for I is equal to 0, I less than n, I plus plus. I is equal to 0. In the sense, it is in the first element. What is happening? Answer will become 1, 2, 3. Answer dot pushback of nums of I. What is nums of I? I will be 0 in the first iteration. So because I is equal to 0, I is equal to 0 is at this position. So it's 1. Next, it will again iterate through the loop. This is the condition that it's checking. So is I less than n? Yes. So what it's going to do? I plus plus. So I will become 1. When it becomes 1, it's going to point to this element. What is the element over here? 2. You push back of 2. Answer is equal to 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. And you close it. Next one. Third iteration. What is going to happen? Is I less than n? Yes. So I plus plus, that is 2. It will go to this position. Answer will become 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now, again it will go. Is I less than n? No, because this has also become 3. And is 3 less than 3? It is not less than 3. That is why your loop ends. You will come out of this for loop and you will directly return your answer. So we have completed the 2 problems for today. And yeah, also, how do you use this methodology, or how do you use this in real world? So for example, you will have a music app with song A, song B, and song C. And you would want to listen to the songs once again. So in that case, what this app is going to do is, it will just take a copy of this and put it once again. That is song A, song B, and song C. So now you know what happens in the background when you ask for repeat of your complete playlist or complete set of songs that you wanted to hear again. It just creates a copy and then concatenates. So with this, we have completed the 2 questions for today. And okay, so because these concepts were slightly similar to what we have done yesterday, instead of a recap, I've thought of getting some facts for you guys. So I have got 6 facts. I will with tomorrow's material, I'll send you the reasons also for why these facts are true. These facts, you just think for tonight. Just think, why is this possible, or what is the reason for this? First thing, size and capacity are different. I guess by this time, because of yesterday's and today's explanation, you'll know what is the difference between size and capacity. So this is fine. Vectors don't grow one by one element. If we told you vectors are dynamic in nature, so if I add an element, that means they are growing. But here it says they don't grow one by one element. So think of how what happens when you try to add an element to a vector which is already of size full. So think of what actually happens. Don't worry, I'll send you the reasons tomorrow morning. But just think of this. Vector of bool is not actually a vector. This is something that I like the most. So just think of it also a little more. Then vectors never shrink automatically. There are actually some inbuilt functions to shrink the vectors also. And then after that, iterators become invalid after resizing. This is also something that I like the most. And then vectors are much faster than linked lists. This is little confusing because it differs from language to language. But in C++, considering C++, this thing is true. Again, I'll send you the reasons tomorrow morning, but try to think of all of this. Now that we have 10 more minutes, I will give you one more question and I want to see if anyone can answer this. This is something little different. And this is an interview question, but trust me, guys, if you think a little more, 100% you'll be able to answer this. I will give you a number. Number is equal to some number, 7. You have to tell me if this is odd or even. Now, everyone can solve it using if and else loops, right? If and else loop, if and else statements, everyone can solve it. So I will give a this thing. Nobody can use if or else statement. Don't use if else statement. Okay. So can anyone raise their hands? You can share your any of the thoughts. Any thoughts? Okay,
Can
Vikas.
we use your while loop? Can we use your while loop?
Okay, tell me your
While
program
loop.
using while loop.
Uh, like while I once I'll write the program.
Okay. You can try run through. Just tell me, don't write the program. Just tell me what would you do.
Like normally, like in Python, how we used to do like while. Wait. Mm,
Okay, Vikas,
like
keep trying. Anyone else? Guys, I see 79 participants here, so I hope someone will answer. Come on, guys, this is an interesting question. Okay. Yes,
Hello.
tell me, Samarth.
Ma'am, you can use the question mark operator like that.
Question. No, but that is also kind of if else only, right? So that's it's instead of writing a complete statements in 3 to 4 lines, you just complete it in one sentence. So I don't want you to use that. Okay, I'll give you a clue. Think of it something like this. With the concept of vectors that we have learned today. Anyone? Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Tell me, Sohan.
It's like we can initialize a vector with like two things in them. Like one is even and another one is odd.
Very
Uh,
good.
at the zeroth element, you keep it as even, and at odd element, at one place, you keep it as odd.
Okay.
Then while you while you take the input of the number,
Hmm.
you can check if you use a modulo operator on it, and if you get a zero as the answer, it'll like check
Give
with the
even. Otherwise, it gives odd.
vector. Yeah.
Very good. Who is that? Sohan. Okay, very good, Sohan. So, okay. So the approach that he has given was right. So I'll tell you how it works. Now I'll initialize a vector with two, you know, elements. First element, I'll initialize it as even. Second element, I'll initialize it as odd. Okay. So this is in the 0th index and this is in the first index. Remember one thing, index is not just a place value or something. Okay. You are in some questions like this, you can even solve questions based on these indexes only. So that is what we're doing in this question. So the first index is 0, the second index is 1. Directly, what I'll do, I will return. What will I return? What is, yeah. So I will return if this is array is equal to array of n percentage 2. So on my case, okay, I'll take this as n. So if I say n is equal to 7, 7 percentage 2 is 1. So what will it return? It will return odd. Understood? if I say, if I take n is equal to 8, 8 is an even number. We know that. N percentage 2, that is 8 percentage 2 is equal to 0. So what is in the 0th index? It will return even. So yeah, this was an interview question and it was for a big MNC only. So you understood it, right? Even with your basic knowledge, it all depends on how you guys think. So that is, the speciality of DSA. Everyone knows all the topics, but then the ones who can think and answer, we will get what they want.
Ma'am,
Yeah, tell me, Vikas.
ma'am, can we write it like this? While I modulo 3 equal to 1, uh,
While
s-
I modulo 3
I equal to 1.
equal to 1.
Print it's odd. Sorry, see out it is odd.
Uh, okay, print, it's odd.
Yeah.
Why 3?
No, see out. Yeah, like if you divide 7 by 3, right, you get remainder as 1. So
7
it's odd.
divided. Then if I say 9 divided by 3,
Oh, and then, okay.
uh,
Okay.
okay. So with this, I will end my presentation or my work on vectors. So hope you guys liked it and you enjoyed the session. So now we will start with a quick quiz. Attendance for your quiz as well as attending the session, both of them are mandatory for you to get your certificates.